They were always the ones you overlooked. The ones sitting in the back of the class, headphones in, eyes sharp, mouth silent. While everyone else was busy being loud, chasing attention, chasing approval, they were observing, learning, waiting. They were called shy. They were called weird. Some even thought they'd never make it. But here's the truth no one saw coming. Quiet men don't stay quiet forever. Because silence doesn't mean weakness. It means focus. It means discipline. It means evolution. And when quiet guys finally rise, they don't just make noise, they shake the world. These are the 8 reasons why quiet guys become unstoppable later in life. 1. They spend years observing what everyone else misses. Quiet men live behind their eyes. They don't rush to speak, they study. Every conversation, every mistake, every reaction, they're collecting data. While loud people chase attention, quiet guys chase understanding. They see patterns others overlook. They notice micro-expressions, energy shifts, inconsistencies in people's words. It's not that they're antisocial, they're analytical. They learn human nature by watching it, not talking over it. By the time they reach maturity, their awareness has evolved into intuition. They can read rooms, sense lies, predict behavior, and adapt faster than anyone else. Observation is their silent superpower. Because you can't outsmart someone who's been watching how the game works in silence for years. 2. They master themselves before they try to master the world. While others try to fix the world around them, quiet men work on mastering what's inside. Their silence isn't emptiness, it's self-reflection. They spend years learning emotional control, patience, and focus. They don't explode under pressure because they've already fought battles inside their own minds. When life tests them, they don't react, they respond. When people try to provoke them, they don't break, they calculate. This inner mastery becomes their advantage. By the time they face external chaos, they're calm. And calmness, in a world addicted to panic, is power. That's why they become unstoppable, because no one can control a man who has already learned to control himself. 3. They turn isolation into growth. Quiet men spend a lot of time alone, not because they're broken, but because solitude is their classroom. In those long silent nights, they're not wasting time. They're learning skills, building vision, and sharpening purpose. While others drown their boredom in distractions, quiet guys evolve in silence. They turn loneliness into focus. They turn rejection into resilience. They turn pain into precision. That's the difference. Silence isn't emptiness for them. It's energy. Every hour they spend alone compounds into strength, insight, and maturity. So when they finally step out into the world, they're 10 steps ahead, not because they were lucky, but because they spent their solitude constructing themselves. 4. They learn the power of listening. Quiet men don't dominate conversations, they dominate understanding. They listen, really listen. They hear what people mean, not just what they say. They absorb ideas, knowledge, emotions. This makes them magnetic without trying. People feel heard around them, and that builds trust, influence, and respect. Listening also gives them something most people never develop: emotional intelligence. They understand motives and empathy at levels others can't fake. And when you can listen deeply, you can lead effectively. You can negotiate better. You can connect faster. You can win without speaking. That's why quiet men rise later in life, because while everyone else was busy talking, they were learning. 5. They don't waste energy seeking validation. From a young age, quiet men learn that not everyone will notice them, and they stop expecting it. This frees them. They don't live for applause. They don't crave approval. They don't perform for attention. Instead, they focus inward, on improvement, not impression. This lack of dependence on validation becomes their greatest armor. They don't crumble under criticism or inflate under praise. They stay centered, consistent, and self-driven. When everyone else needs permission to believe in themselves, quiet men already do. That's why later in life, they surpass the ones who mock them. Because while everyone was performing for the world, the quiet ones were becoming unstoppable in silence. 6. They outgrow the need to impress anyone. Quiet men learn early in life that trying to impress others leads nowhere. They watch loud people exaggerate, brag, perform, and they see how empty it all is. So they choose a different path. One without showing off. One without unnecessary noise. One without needing applause. And here's the twist, because they don't try to impress, they end up becoming the most impressive. Quiet guys understand something most people never learn. If you're constantly performing, you're not evolving. If you're busy being seen, you're not busy becoming. They invest their energy inward, into discipline, skills, reading, creating, building. They develop quietly, slowly, deliberately. And when they finally reveal their growth, it shocks the people who underestimated them. Confidence built in silence is unbreakable. It doesn't depend on compliments or followers or approval. It comes from looking in the mirror and knowing, I built myself when no one was watching. That's why quiet men become unstoppable. They're powered by internal validation, not external noise. 7. They build mental strength in silence. Quiet men battle their demons alone, insecurities, fears, doubts, disappointments. They don't project it onto the world. They don't explode in anger. They don't look for sympathy. They sit with it. They learn from it. They sharpen themselves through it. People think quiet men are fragile because they don't express loudly. But that's the biggest myth. Their silence is where their strength grows. Because when you face challenges without an audience, without applause, without help, you develop a kind of mental toughness most people will never understand. Quiet guys learn to endure. To observe before reacting. To think before responding. To feel without breaking. By the time they become adults, their resilience is unmatched. They've been fighting internal battles since childhood, and now, external problems barely shake them. This ability to stay calm under pressure, to hold their ground, to think clearly when others panic. That's what makes them unstoppable later in life. 8. They become masters of focus. Quiet men don't scatter their energy across 100 things. They don't multitask for attention. They don't chase random chaos. They lock in. They focus. They commit. When a quiet man decides to build something, a skill, a business, a body, a life, he becomes laser-focused in a way few people can match. Because focus is the natural skill of someone who isn't addicted to attention. While loud people get distracted by every trend, every opinion, every piece of drama, the quiet guy is in his zone. Building. Improving. Becoming. This focus compounds. Day by day, month by month, year by year. And suddenly the quiet, overlooked kid becomes a force of nature. Not because he worked harder than everyone else, but because he worked more consistently. Focus creates momentum. Momentum creates greatness. Greatness creates an unstoppable man. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please consider liking it and subscribing to the channel. Your support means a lot.